Did you know magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in our bodies every single day? So why are we not supplementing our diet to include magnesium daily? The goal is to help you learn more about magnesium in this video. Thank you for stopping by to learn more about the LiveGood Ultra Magnesium Complex, which is formulated with the most bioavailable forms of magnesium that most people are not getting enough of in their diet or from other supplements. Like all the other LiveGood products, the Ultra Magnesium Complex are made with the highest quality ingredients and raw materials and made in the same manufacturing facilities as many other super high-end products and supplements. In this video, you will be hearing Dr. Ryan Goodkin, the Director of Product Development, and Lisa Goodkin, the Director of Product Education at LiveGood, discuss and give you all the information you need to know about the LiveGood Ultra Magnesium Complex. Goodkin personally formulated this Ultra Magnesium Complex, so he definitely knows what he is talking about. For additional information about how you can get the LiveGood Ultra Magnesium Complex after listening to Ryan and Lisa, check out the description of this video.
All right, great. We're live.
All right, everybody. So today, yes, happy Monday. So today, Ryan and I are going to talk all about magnesium. And as Ryan always likes to say, magnesium is
magnificent.
There you go. So we have our Ultra Magnesium Complex. So magnesium is a mineral that's crucial for the body's function.
Crucial.
And a deficiency in it is like typically an overlooked health problem. Okay, there's so many times that somebody can have a symptom and nobody just says, try supplementing with magnesium.
Correct.
Magnesium is involved in over 300 reactions in the body. So if you think about that, if you don't have the proper amount of magnesium and you have all these 300 plus reactions that are trying to take place, they can't really take place properly without their lovely magnesium.
Sure.
And it's just such a simple mineral to supplement with. Not to mention it's not an expensive mineral to begin with.
Right.
A deficiency can cause anything from what I know you'll be able to list off a lot more, but fatigue, muscle cramps, irregular heartbeat, insomnia, horrible stress response, anxiety, osteoporosis. I mean, so many things that a deficiency in magnesium can cause, and it's actually pretty scary. So I want Ryan to explain to us all about why he chose, there's many forms of magnesium, why he chose these two specific forms of magnesium to put in our Ultra Magnesium Complex.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Lisa. And like you said, 300 chemical reactions. So it's a cofactor or a precursor for an enzymatic reaction, right? For enzymes. And there's such a diverse range of biochemical reactions that this simple, very essential, because we have to get it from our food or supplements, mineral is responsible for. I mean, it's insanity that, like you said, people overlook it so often. And it's involved in things of like the muscle and nerve conduction, right? So it's literally what sends the nerve impulse. It's how the body communicates. It's involved in bone metabolism. We know that for sure with calcium and potassium. It's obviously involved in heart health and cardiovascular heart health. I mean, the FDA actually has a qualified health claim for lowering blood pressure with this medication. If you are a pregnant female and you're in the hospital and you have preeclampsia or high blood pressure during pregnancy, they will put you on, you got it, magnesium. I mean, so to think that we're just missing out on so much just because we're not supplementing with it is really quite sad. And that's one of the reasons why we said we need to have magnesium as a foundational supplement for us. I mean, it's also involved in DNA, protein, RNA, muscle protein synthesis. It's a precursor to glutathione, the mother of all antioxidants in our body. So it's a really big deal. It's like when people, like you say, when in a clinical setting, when people present, you're like, all right, are you on magnesium? If you're not, well, you should be for the most part, right? At least 50% of people are deficient or have inadequate magnesium levels. But here's the thing, right? It's hard to measure. There's about 25 grams of magnesium in our body. Most of it, though, is in our bones, our tissues, and our muscles.
Right. So if you go and get like a blood draw, it's not really reflective of the magnesium level.
It's because about less than 1% in our serum, in our blood, less than 1% of our magnesium. And it's so tightly regulated by our kidneys that it controls excretion or reabsorption, so that it maintains a very tight kind of therapeutic like index of magnesium in the serum. So That's one of the challenges,
Yeah.
you know, but when you look at it from a survey perspective, they've done it and they say, man, most people have an inadequate intake of magnesium. Now it is in quite a bit of different foods, right? Like
Yeah,
things
there's
like
certain nuts.
Yeah.
And
green leafy vegetables and
oysters
and chocolate, dark chocolate, which I get plenty of that. But yeah, so ultimately, though, we decided on magnesium glycinate and magnesium gluconate for our salt forms of magnesium. There's a lot of different forms, and it's crazy. I always ask people to send me like some things that they're taking if they have any questions. And I often see a magnesium supplement. It's like magnesium oxide. Well, magnesium oxide doesn't really do anything other than increase bowel movements. It does not absorb well. There's a lot of forms of magnesium used, like magnesium citrate is used for bowel prep.
Yeah, I mean, magnesium citrate is great, but again, it's really just to stimulate bowel movement. It's not to help increase magnesium in your body.
It does absorb, but ultimately you're going to hit diarrhea before you before you move your blood levels, which is not what you want, right? It's actually pretty much the limiting factor of all forms of magnesium. Ultimately, even these, you would still only be able to take so much before your stomach really starts to be affected from it. You know what I mean? Which is one of the reasons why you say you could split the dose throughout the day. You could take it with food to lessen that impact on the bowels. So
right, and you know, we always say a major thing with the magnesium. I briefly had mentioned sleep, but it really helps reduce the stress hormones in the brain. So this is part of like why it helps us sleep, because we lie down in bed at the end of the day and our brains are still racing. And did I do this? Did I do that? What do I have to do tomorrow? Just everything. So it helps relax our bodies and relax our minds so we can actually get a deep, well-rested sleep.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. All right, so what are we going to do? Let's talk some questions here. What else we want to? I usually like to pause for a moment and just kind of see what people are asking.
Right, and again, we talk about magnesium all the time, guys. We've talked about it. We've talked about it in our daily essentials pack. And we always make a point to bring up how important and how essential magnesium is for you. And I just want to let you know, like, our member price for this is only $8.95. That's $8.95 for 60 capsules because you're taking 2 a day. Our non-member price is, I believe it's $17.95, but just makes you realize you also should be a member if you're not a member. But again, there's no reason. I mean, a month's worth of magnesium for under $9, guys. Got to do it. You cannot skimp on this one.
Probably the best value, in my opinion. Like seriously, probably the best value supplement that you could possibly take
for sure
for the money.
For sure. And I like to take mine because I'm not a very good sleeper. So everything I work on is like biohacking my sleep and trying to do everything to sleep better. So I take both of my magnesiums about an hour before bedtime. Ryan, on the other hand, you like to split.
I do. I split it at lunch. I do it around lunchtime, mid-afternoon, for that mid-afternoon kind of stress response. Kids are coming home from school. You're just realizing maybe things you didn't get done early in the day. And then again, I'll take the other capsule right before bedtime to help benefit that sleep cycle.
Right. So you kind of just figure out what works for you and for your body and for your needs.
Yeah, but I want to mention something. So some people don't realize that, the magnesium deficiency is like we keep talking about, like, it's better to get ahead of it early than it is to wait until later until disease presents, because magnesium deficiency builds up over time. It leads to problems with weak bones. It leads to poor nerve conduction and lack of muscle and heart difficulty managing and regulating heart rhythms. So you got to understand something, that magnesium should be started early and taken consistently every single day.
Right. Those are some things that are hard to gain back by waiting until they present themselves and then saying, oh, I need to take my magnesium. And
there's a few common disease states I want to mention. Like we talked about with high blood pressure. We know that it's a qualified health claim. We know that it's involved in it, but it's primarily because the way that it interacts with calcium and potassium, it creates this membrane potential on the nerve conduction side of things. And that is where you're really triggering a lot of the blood pressure regulation and heart rhythm aspect of it, right? Diabetes is an interesting one. So I've always talked about, say, about 1 out of 2, half of the United States population is either pre-diabetic type 1 or type 2. The problem with diabetes, that's a huge number, huge number. The problem with the diabetes related to magnesium is that it tends to be that there's high levels of glucose in the kidney, which increases excretion of magnesium. So you're really excreting more magnesium. So it's a loss of magnesium as well. And then, of course, there's gastrointestinal diseases and things of that nature that affect the absorption and the uptake of magnesium. Things like gluten sensitivities, things like irritable bowel disease, so Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, or any number of these things. There's a lot of medications. I'm big on the med side, right? So drug-induced nutrient depletion is a huge category, specifically related to magnesium. I mean, guys, water pills, the diuretics that are used, they flush out magnesium. So that's one of the top 5 meds in the country dispensed. I mean, it's for high blood pressure, but they're putting on it and then you're losing magnesium. Proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux or for heartburn. You know, it's blocking, it's affecting the absorption of magnesium, and over long term, you're seeing low magnesium levels. And so you're seeing certain meds, and a lot of times I always caution people. I say, watch out with magnesium because it can bind or can chelate to other minerals, like things like zinc, for instance, right? If you have magnesium in a multivitamin with zinc, it potentially binds and prevents the absorption. So what we're ultimately trying to help you guys understand is that it's such an easy mineral to supplement with, but you got to know what you're doing, what salt form you're choosing, why you're choosing it, what to expect from it, how long to take it, all those things. That's really what we want you guys to get out of it.
Right. And like what you were just saying, that's why you intentionally left magnesium out of our multivitamin.
That's right.
Because of the fact that it combines with other. It can bind, it can compete for your absorption, it can do a number of different things, but it's also, I want you to have control over your dosing and the timing of your dosing. Right. So you can experiment with it, because not only are we talking about blood pressure, we're talking about diabetes, we're talking about osteoporosis, you know, we're talking about also migraines, so and headaches and things of that nature. So I want you guys to be able to use your magnesium as a tool to help you with these things. You know, I mean, muscle cramps, it's another area where, you know, people can realize that they're probably maybe low or deficient with inadequate amounts of magnesium. Right. So we said how we personally like to take our magnesium, but as Ryan's talking about how it can bind and chelate, that should also let you know that you should not be taking this with your multivitamin. Okay, separate it out from your other supplements. But typically, if we're taking them, you know, later in the day and before bed, we don't typically take our multivitamins or vitamin D. You should not be taking later in the day, anyways. Did we mention what forms these are? Magnesium glycinate, predominantly, and magnesium gluconate. So the glycinate is the amino acid glycine. So what it is, it's magnesium paired or conjugated with glycine, which is an amino acid. So which is very cool, very cool. It is in a capsule form. There's 60 capsules. It is gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free. It's a vegetable capsule. And like I said, I'll split mine dose. So you get your daily intake of 420 milligrams, but you get that across 2 capsules. That's why I split mine at lunch and then again at dinner. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, perfect. I mean, again, super simple supplement, and something that we all need to be taking every single day to make sure our magnesium levels stay up where they should be. And other things that we talked about, the body will increase excretion of, right? We said exercise. Right. Well, we didn't say that. That's what I'm trying to say. Exercise increases excretion of magnesium. We talked about medications. We know caffeine can do it. High stress amounts, chronic stress, of course, can do it. We know that. Even acute anxiety. Think about the whole chronic stress thing. It's like we need magnesium to help with chronic stress. Chronic stress further depletes our magnesium. It's kind of like a crazy cycle. It is a nasty cycle. You have to make sure you're taking it. Right. But we've had, like, I know testimonials have come in and people were like, wow, transformation in my sleep. I'm feeling so much better. I'm not waking up cramping as much. Right. Right. Simple. Yeah. I just read one of a testimonial on our Thursday call, maybe last week or the week before, but it was an affiliate was saying that the first time that she took the magnesium at night before bed, she slept like a baby, slept better than she had been sleeping with an actual sleep supplement. Oh, wow. So, I mean, it just says a lot. That says a lot. Her body was like craving this, like, give me the magnesium. Yeah, absolutely. So it's good stuff. Great. Yeah, awesome. So any further questions, guys, you can always email me, Lisa@livegood.com. And thank you for watching. Upper limit. So there's a question. Can you take 3 or 4 per day without problems? Yeah, I think you probably could, but you got to really kind of figure out why you're doing that. You know, shouldn't have to. That 420 in here, plus you're going to get it from your food. You probably figure you can get up to 1,200 milligrams of elemental magnesium a day without many side effects. But that's, again, there's a lot of patient variability on that. If you can't use capsule, wait, what was that question? Powder capsule. Okay, so for people that can't swallow pills, that's what you're asking. These you can actually twist apart and put in water. So I always say that all of our capsules, the only one that can't is the fish oil. Obviously, that's an oil in a gel cap. Yeah. But you can twist them off, pour them in water, and do it that way. Yeah, there's a question about starting before bone and muscle issues develop. You betcha, especially in the athletic population. It's very unfortunate that these high school and collegiate athletes are not being told that
magnesium should be an absolute regular supplement for them.
Yes, I mean, we give
100%.
our children, 9 and 10 years old, a child version of magnesium.
Magnesium.
Our bodies all need it. We
Yeah,
need it.
without a doubt, 100%. Sorry, guys, I know my hands near trying to get used to this. All right, cool. All right, great. That's it for our Monday Zoom. Join us next week, Monday noon Eastern. Hope you all had a great Mother's Day weekend and have a productive rest of your week.
Sounds great. Take care, guys.
All right, see y'all.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.